It's been a while since we've been. It's been a while.
Oh yeah, it's been a good while. This off season so far has been kind of crazy, and we're glad to share it with all y'all.
Yeah, damn. Skippy.
But wait a minute, before we go there, gotta do the intro.
Gotta push that button.
Yes.
Push the button. Oh, damn, I just hit my hand. Ho, 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 baby.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir. Football freaks, gridiron geeks, have no fear because we're back. The four horsemen are here in the flesh, baby. What is going on, everybody? I, of course, am a pizzle Alex, fan of the Aqua and Orange, the Miami Dolphins. Joining me, one of the four horsemen, Mr. Tiny Tim, fan of America's team, the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's been a hot minute, but the boys are back in town, just like the old song said. And we're back to talk about some real crazy stuff that's been going around in the league here. By the way, happy new league year. Of course, it
Happy
started.
New Year, everybody.
Yeah, started last week, but a lot has happened between then and now. We'll get into it. Great to see everybody.
Yes, sir.
Great to see all you. Yeah, you and you.
Especially you. You know who you
Yeah,
are.
and you. We love you all. Mwah!
That's right. I was going to do this last week, but I figured I'd wait a week because now we know where the big names are at. Except for a couple. We're going to get to that in just a little bit.
Right.
So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go through each team's signings, and we're going to grade them. We're going to do this A, B, C, D, and F. And towards the end, we will give out our biggest winners of free agency and our biggest losers. All right. Let me share my screen right about now. We're going to start in the AFC East. We're going to start with the Buffalo Bills. They signed quarterback Kyle Allen because obviously you got to have two guys with the same last name and the same position. Kyle Allen will be the backup to Josh Allen. Damien Harris, formerly of the New England Patriots, signs with the Buffalo Bills. They also re-signed Deontay Hardy to a 2-year deal, up to $13.5 million with a $9.5 million signing bonus or base salary and $5 million guaranteed. They signed Trent Sherfield from the Dolphins. Hate to see him go, and I hate to see him go to a division rival. He signs a 1-year deal. Connor McGovern, formerly of the Dallas Cowboys, signs a 3-year, $25 million contract. David Quessenberry, who is one of the best feel-good stories of the league of the past decade, because I believe this is the guy that had Hodgkin's lymphoma when he came back, and he's absolutely a beast at the guard. He is re-signing with the Bills. Tyler Matakevich signed a 2-year deal. Matt Milano. This was probably their best linebacker of this past year. He signed a 2-year extension through 2026. He was previously under contract through 2024. They re-signed Dane Jackson, cornerback. They re-signed Jordan Poyer to a 2-year deal, although he was flirting with other teams around the league. And then they re-signed punter Sam Martin. So, Tim, looking at this, what would you grade the Bills in their free agency class?
Well, I'm actually looking on CBSSports.com right now. I'm taking a look at some grades that they've given to all 64 of these teams. And if you'll stand
64.
by, 64.
64? Nintendo 64?
I must be thinking of the tournament.
Oh, you're thinking about March Madness. Speaking of which, go Owls, by the way. FAU still in it.
Congratulations to FAU.
Let's go.
Sweet 16. First time ever, right?
We got Tennessee tomorrow night. Yes, sir. First time.
That'll be a good one here.
LC
LC is on its way. Good. I was just going to share with you on our Facebook Messenger the link where you can get all of the grades that CBS.com is given to. So far, for the Buffalo Bills, they give them a B+.
B+. Okay.
B+. They added Damien Harris from Patriots, Trent Sherfield from the Dolphins, Connor McGovern from the Cowboys, Deontay Hardy from the Saints, and quarterback Kyle Allen from the Texans. I don't think his team is big enough for 2 Allens, but maybe
Possibly.
Kyle Allen could be a good backup. Of course, Josh Allen, he's been doing a great job there, bringing Buffalo back to pretty good prominence. I mean, not like the days of the Super Bowl Bills with Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas and all of them, but hey, they're doing quite well here.
Absolutely. Before we move on to the Finns, I do want to say prayers up to Foster Moreau. He was recently diagnosed with, I believe, Hodgkin's some sort of cancer. So I hope he gets well very, very soon. Let me just see here. Yeah, Hodgkin's lymphoma. Prayers up to him. Hopefully he gets. Just prayers for him. Hopefully he pulls through.
Yeah, pull through, buddy. We're with you.
I think he plays for the Raiders. Plays for the Raiders, yes. So prayers up to him. Now moving on to my team. Let's talk about the Miami Dolphins. It's Mike White season, baby. We signed him to a 2-year deal to be Tua's backup. Possibly battling Skylar Thompson for the backup spot. We shall see. So we signed all 4 of our running backs. We re-signed Myles Gaskin to a 1-year deal. We re-signed Raheem Mostert to a 2-year, $5.6 million deal with $2.2 million guaranteed. We re-signed Jeff Wilson, who we gave a 5th-round pick to the San Francisco 49ers. 2-year, $6 million, including $2.645 million guaranteed. We stole Braxton Berrios from the Jets. He will most likely be our punt returner. 1-year, $3.5 million deal with $3 million guaranteed. We signed Eric Saubert from I believe he was with the Broncos last. Dan Freeney, who is a center and guard. Malik Reed, who I believe was with the Steelers last. David Long Jr., who a lot of people are saying is one of the steals of free agency. We signed him to a 2-year, $11 million deal. He will most likely be in the middle linebacker spot. Duke Riley re-signed with us. Nick Needham re-signed for a 1-year deal, just under $2 million. We traded for Jalen Ramsey. Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah.
In exchange for a 3rd-round pick and Hunter Long, who was our 3rd-string tight end. Deshaun Elliott signs with us from previously with the Lions. And then Jake Bailey, who was previously with the Patriots, signs with us. I'm going to give us an A-. I'm going to say A- for the Fins. I really like what we did. Kind of wish we went with a little juicier when it came to running back. It's not the guy who I wanted at backup quarterback. I personally wanted Gardner Minshew. But other than that, that's a solid free agency class, I would say. A- for the Fins.
Pretty solid right there. According to CBS.com, they give the Dolphins an A.
An A.
Yeah.
Okay. Little better than me. I will take that. Especially
especially with the Jalen Ramsey pick. I mean, that is going to bolster that Fins defense pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely right. Luke Thatcher says Saubert was the Broncos' 3rd-string tight end. So we basically got another 3rd-string tight end. So trade away ours. We get somebody else's. Hopefully he can block, because that's what Mike McDaniel's system does. We need blocking tight ends that can actually block. Okay. I don't believe I gave my grade for the Bills. I'm going to give them a solid B. Solid B for the Bills, I think. And then A- for the Fins. Moving on to the Lale Lule Low with the New England Patriots. They re-signed James Robinson to a 2-year deal up to $8 million. They signed Juju Smith-Schuster from the Kansas City Chiefs. And then previously, before that, the Pittsburgh Steelers, 3-year, $25.5 million up to $33 million with incentives. He received $16 million guaranteed. This one hurts. This next one hurts me a lot because they signed Mike Gesicki, former Dolphin, to a 1-year, $4.5 million deal with $3.55 million guaranteed and worth $9 million with incentives. This one hurts. Anytime you get to see one of your players sign with a division rival, it just stings.
I know how it feels. It's almost borderline personal.
It is. Of all the teams he signs with the damn Patriots. Anyways, James James re-signed 1-year deal that includes $200,000 guaranteed. They signed Calvin Anderson to a 2-year deal. Riley Reif to a 1-year, $5 million deal. Daniel Ekuale re-signed. Chris Board, 2-year deal up to $6.7 million. Raekwon McMillan re-signs, former Dolphin, 1-year, $1.6 million, $2.2 million with incentives. Mac Wilson re-signs a 1-year deal up to $2.2 million. Jonathan Jones, who was their best corner last year, 2-year, $20 million deal with $13 million guaranteed. Jabril Peppers re-signed on a 2-year, $9 million deal with up to $11 million in incentives. Jalen Mills, a.k.a. the Green Goblin, agreed to terms on a revised 1-year deal with a max value of $6.1 million guaranteed. And their long snapper, Joe Cardona, 4-year, $6.3 million with up to $6.7 million with incentives. I'm going to be honest. This one looks okay. This one looks all right for them. I mean, Gesicki, one of the best tight ends, most underrated tight ends in the league. He didn't get used much at all last year. I like that they re-signed Jalen Mills. Jonathan Jones, they needed him to be brought back. I'm going to give them a C+.
Well, that's exactly what CBS.com gives him. C+.
C+. Okay.
Yeah, Juju Smith-Schuster should kind of bolster their offense just a little bit, even though. Now, who was the quarterback for New England last year?
Mac Jones.
Matt Jones. Um, Hopefully, he'll have a better season, but I'm not quite holding my breath.
Well, I think they'll get better. Well, then again, they lost Matt Patricia. They lost Joe Judge. They're bringing back Bill O'Brien.
So it looks like the Bills could be still the top team in that division.
I don't know.
But I think they'll get some competition from those Finns this year.
We shall see. And speaking of competition, there's also possibly with the Jets as well. We'll talk about that in just a little bit, but they signed McCole Hardman. He agreed to a 1-year deal up to $6.5 million. They signed Alan Lazard, the Lizard, from the Green Bay Packers, 4-year, $44 million contract. Wes Schweitzer signed a contract with them. Solomon Thomas re-signed on a 1-year deal. The former number 3 overall pick in the draft, 2017, up to $3.9 million. Quincy Williams re-signed with them. 3-year, $18 million that maxes out at $21 million with incentives. Chuck Clark acquired in a trade with the Baltimore Ravens in exchange for a 2024 7th-round pick. Greg Zuerlein re-signed a 1-year deal, $3.5 million, and they signed the former Dolphins punter, Tommy Morstead. And there are rumors that bad man might be coming to Gotham.
Well, because of the Aaron Rodgers situation, CBSSports.com rates the Jets incomplete.
Incomplete.
I guess they're still waiting waiting to see if he will it kind of reminds me of this thing I heard. Somebody was trying to call Aaron Rodgers' office, and they got put on hold. And sometimes when you get put on hold, you'll listen to some music,
Mm-hmm.
So this guy calls Aaron Rodgers. He gets put on hold, and the music that was playing was "Should I Stay or Should I Go?"
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I don't know. I mean,
this.
All I can say is to be continued, I guess.
To be continued, but as of right now, I'm going to say a D.
Yeah, probably no better than a D plus in my opinion.
D plus, I agree 100% with that. So that's the East. Now let's move on to the North.
Over to the North.
Moving on to the AFC North, the Ravens. Lamar Jackson received his non-exclusive franchise tag, meaning he can negotiate with any team he wants to, or he can sign the franchise tag if he so chooses. They re-signed Justice Hill, 1 year, $2.255 million. That includes $1.25 million guaranteed. They re-signed Trayvon Mullen, and they re-signed Geno Stone, 1 year, $7.6 million deal with $750,000 guaranteed. This to me, Ravens, what the hell are you doing?
Hardly anything.
They didn't do anything at all.
No.
Do they have, what's their draft looking like? What's their draft picks looking like? Because I know.
I'm not sure.
Let me just check that real quick. Baltimore Ravens draft picks. Because if they have a lot of draft picks, that can explain why their free agency class looks like the way it does. So as of now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 8 picks in the draft.
8 picks in the draft, and it says here from PressBoxOnline.com their main draft needs are wide receivers, corners, and pass rushers.
This is an F. This is an F. If I'm being honest, if they don't re-sign Lamar, it's already an F because this, oof. I don't. Yeah, that's bad. That's a bad draft class, or that's a bad free agency class, if you ask me.
Yeah, CBS Sports has them with a ranking of a D. They're a little bit. They're a little bit more generous than you are, but not too much.
Just a tad
Just
bit.
a little bit.
Just a tad. I mean, Geno Stone was solid. Justice Hill was solid as well, but you got to give at least some help to Lamar, if you know what I mean. If he stays.
Yeah.
Which brings up an interesting thing I saw this morning. I'd never watched First Take, but it was on, and I saw this go across their headline. What if the Ravens trade Lamar to the Panthers to get the first overall pick in the draft? Should they do that?
You got me on that one. That is kind of a very tough thing to do. Oh.
Yeah, that's what they said.
It looks like the goose is back.
The goose is back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would be absolutely chaotic if that happens.
So if they don't want to take CJ Stroud
or Anthony Richardson or Bryce Young or Will Levis, we shall see. All right, Dashy. Now we get to your Bengals.
Yeah.
They signed Orlando Brown. Signed a 4-year, $64.092 million contract. That includes a $31 million signing bonus just for signing his name on the dotted line. They signed Cody Ford, an offensive guard. They re-signed Max Sherping. They re-signed Jermaine Pratt to a 3-year, $21 million deal. He receives $10.35 million in year 1 and $15.15 million over 2 years. And they signed Nick Scott to a 3-year deal. I'm going to give the Bengals, based on what I'm looking at right here, They do need offensive line. They do need to project Joe Burrow. They got Jonah Williams last year. They still have Jonah Williams. There's actually talk about him being traded to the Jets.
Yeah.
Trade package. I'm going to go B-. I'm going to go B- for the Bengals.
All right. That sounds good. CBSSports.com gives him actually a B+.
A B+. Okay. Solid there. I think there's still room for improvement, if you're asking me.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Of course. Now we get to the Browns. The Cleveland Browns. They signed Joshua Dobbs, who was previously with the Browns, to a 1-year deal worth $2 million guaranteed. And earlier today, they traded for Elijah Moore in a trade for the Jets in exchange for a 2023 second-round pick, number 42 overall. And Cleveland also receives a 2023 third-round pick in the swap, which is number 74. Now, that is big because Elijah Moore was one of the Jets' best receivers last year. Him and Amari Cooper are going to be a nice 1-2 punch for Deshaun Watson. There we go.
Yeah.
They also signed tight end Jordan Akins, formerly of the Houston Texans. They signed Ethan Pochik to a 3-year deal worth $18 million. They agreed to Ogbo Okoronkwo, 3-year, $19 million with a max value of $22 million, $12.5 million guaranteed. Tristan Hill signed with them. Maurice Hurst signed with them. Dalvin Tomlinson signed a 4-year, $57 million contract. Matthew Adams signed there. Shione Taki re-signed with the Browns. Anthony Walker re-signed on a 1-year deal. Mike Ford signed with them, and Juan Thornhill signed a 3-year, $21 million contract. That includes $14 million guaranteed. This to me screams C.
Actually, I have it ranked at a B.
This to me screams C. Well, actually, you know what? I will bump it up to a B because Elijah Moore with that trade today, that was big. What's up, Lucas?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
What's going on, Lucas?
Here's my buddy
Oh, I
OC.
just got done dinner. What's up, Tiny Tim, the legend himself?
Yeah,
Good to see you again, buddy.
Good to see you again, Tiny Tim.
And you're right on time.
Oh, really?
You know why?
Why?
Because you're next.
I'm next.
Because your
boy.
team is next. We're
The
talking about them
Steelers.
scores.
The Steelers. Look, I know Romy's like, hi, my name is Joshie Marshall. No, that's not true. My name's not the Steelers. My team stuff, butt plugs.
Ooh. So let's talk about the Steelers real quick. They signed Nate Herbig, 2-year deal for $8 million with $4 million guaranteed.
I'll take
Isaac
it.
Samuelau,
Yep, the best
3-year,
guard in free agency.
$24 million contract. They re-signed Larry Ogunjobi.
I love that sign.
3-year, $28.75 million. That includes $17 million guaranteed. Cole Holcomb, formerly of the Commanders, signs a 3-year deal worth $18 million.
I like
Landon Roberts, former Miami Dolphin, signs a 2-year deal to join the Steelers. Probably the most interesting signing of the free agency so far, Patrick Peterson.
That's right.
2-year deal worth $14 million. That includes
I like it.
$5.85 million guaranteed. And James Pierre re-signs on a 1-year deal. What are your thoughts?
I really like how we've done so far in free agency. There is one move, though, that people have been rumoring that if it does happen, I'm intrigued, and that would be Odell Beckham Jr. The Steelers might be signing Odell Beckham Jr.
Whoa.
I would not mind that personally. If we can get Odell Beckham Jr. to a decent deal, I think the Steelers could have a top-tier offense in the league. And Romy, the end is not near because I am a good hero. So stop it. Patrick Peterson, I think, has been our most biggest impact signing. I do like the fact that we're building up our offensive line a little bit. It's really they're trying to create now. The nickname is now the Picket Fence. So I like that. The offensive line is known as the Picket Fence. I like it. I'm gonna get the best free agent guard in the entire free agency. Isaac Samalo is the best free agency #1 ranked guard. So we got him. Nate Herbig's a good depth piece, and we can always draft some other offensive linemen in the draft to help out. So a few losses that we did have are Cam Sutton. Losing him is definitely a little bit disappointing, but unfortunately, I do feel like we got a little bit better with Patrick Peterson. He's more experienced. And there was a couple other free agents we did lose. Thank goodness we lost Devin Bush. Terrell Edmonds, I know, is also gone. I'm trying to remember where Terrell Edmonds went. Do you guys know?
I haven't seen him on the list yet. So we'll probably get to them.
Terrell Edmonds. I know Devin Bush is a Seahawk. That I personally know.
Yes.
Terrell Edmonds. There's a lot of good moves though. Like Robert Spillane going to the Raiders though. That was unfortunate.
Mhm.
But I think that realistically, I think the Steelers so far were just trying to get some depth, and I really do like that. I think we're going to be in really good shape for the next couple of years, though. I think that the Steelers' offensive line is going to continue to get better. That was one of our weak points,
Yes.
and also cutting Miles Jack was also an interesting move. But I like it because the reason why we cut Miles Jack, Robert Spillane, we all let him walk, and then Bush. They didn't get a single turnover. They didn't get a single turnover, or the amount of pressures that we got for our linebackers was one of the worst in the league. And I think that's a big message that new GM Omar Khan is sending. So
Damn.
I'm excited to see where the Steelers go from here. I know the draft's only a little bit over a month away. I'm intrigued to see what the Steelers do. But right now, I'm thinking the Steelers have a solid free agency class so far. I would give it a B+ personally.
Odell Beckham.
Odell Beckham, we get him, we would probably jump it up to an A-.
You for real?
I am absolutely for real. Thank God.
Bitch, are you for real?
Yes, I am for real. Thank God I lost Devin Bush. I agree. Miles Jack was probably the most surprising cut. Probably the most surprising cut was probably Miles Jack, realistically. I think that was our big cut. But getting to the quarterback and getting turnovers is going to be a new thing that we're going to try to do with our defense this year, which I like it.
I'm going to give the Stars. You know what? I'm going to give them. I'm leaning towards two grades. You know what? I'll give it a solid B. I will give the Steelers a solid B.
Well, going to CBSSports.com, they give them a B+.
Oh,
So my grade, pretty much agree with my grade, pretty much.
Pretty much.
So, other AFC teams, I don't know if I have enough time to go through all of them, but I'll just go over what we have right now. I'll go through and give my thoughts on everything so far that we.
Okay.
Like, what teams have you guys done so far?
we did the East and we just finished the North.
Okay, so not too much. Not too much else to go over there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll go over them another time, but right now let's go over the rest of it.
Okay, let's move on to the South. AFC South, starting with the Houston Texans, and they were
Texans have done
busy.
a lot.
Texans are absolutely busy in this free agency class. They signed Case Keenum, 2-year deal, $6.25 million contract. That includes $4 million guaranteed. The deal has a max value of $8.25 million with incentives. They signed Devin Singletary, 1-year deal up to $3.75 million. Let's go Owls. Sweet 16 tomorrow night.
Hell yeah, dude.
First time ever in franchise history. They signed Mike Boone. Noah Brown signed a 1-year, $2.6 million contract. That includes $2.25 million guaranteed and has a max value of $3.1 million with incentives. They signed.
I don't mind that right now because of the situation. We'll get to it later.
They signed Robert Woods, 2-year, $15.25 million. That includes $10 million fully guaranteed and has a max value of $17 million. So he stays in the division.
Woods. Wow, I'm actually surprised.
He stays in the division, going from the Titans to their hated rival in the Houston Texans. Andrew Beck signed a 2-year deal worth $6.75 million. That includes $4 million guaranteed. Dalton Schultz.
Yeah.
You want to talk about
That's a splash.
Gamble. You want to talk about a gamble.
That hurt.
1-year deal worth up to $9 million.
Wow. Unreal.
Speaking of unreal, Laramie Tunsil. 3-year deal, $75 million contract extension. That includes $50 million in fully guaranteed money. This is the second time that he has become the highest paid offensive tackle in the league. It all started because he wore a gas mask.
Yeah, that's actually insane to think about, but it's the truth, though.
Shaq Mason, acquired in a trade with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, along with Mason, the Texans also received a 7th-round pick from the Bucs in exchange for a 6th-rounder. So they get some help on their offensive line with that. They re-signed Scott Questenberry. They got Chase Winovich, former Michigan Wolverine and not Tampa Bay Buccaneer, but New England Patriot and Cleveland Brown. He signs with them. Sheldon Rankins signs a 1-year, $10.5 million contract. Hassan Ridgeway, 1-year, $3.25 million contract. That includes a value of $4 million with incentives. I believe he was with the 49ers last.
Wait, which player?
Hassan Ridgeway.
Yeah, yes,
Hassan
that's
Ridgeway.
correct. That's
Yep,
correct.
Hassan Ridgeway. Corey Littleton signed with the Texans. Denzel Perryman signed a 1-year deal. Taveri Thomas re-signs. MJ Stewart re-signed on a 2-year deal with a max contract value of $7.5 million. That includes $1.5 million at signing and $750,000 annual incentives. And they signed Jimmy Ward, who was another former member of that San Francisco 49ers defense. Joining D'Amico Ryans in Houston is Jimmy Ward. The Texans, to me, they did a lot.
They did a lot.
A lot. They spent a lot of money. Dalton Schultz easily being the biggest one.
Yeah.
Laramie Tunsil, obviously re-signing them was huge.
He's now the highest paid tackle in the league.
That's
I
right.
think in history, actually.
It is. That is true. You know what? I'm going to give the Texans. I'm going to go solid B. Once again, solid B for the Houston Texans.
I'm going to go with a B as well. Robert Woods signing him to that much money when he's been subpar the past couple of years. It's definitely a surprising amount. Schultz, I think, is worth it. Singletary, I think, is worth it. Tunsil, I 100% think is worth it. And then Jimmy Ward, I definitely think is worth it. The others, though, we'll see how they do. Sean Rank isn't going to be bad either. Case Keenum.
Case Keenum.
Well, Case Keenum will be the backup, and then probably be Bryce Young's backup for 90% of the year.
Yeah, CBSSports.com gives the Texans a B.
Right on.
Right on.
So we are unanimous.
Unanimous.
With H-Town. Indianapolis Colts.
Interesting.
That first one really hurts me because that's who I wanted as my backup quarterback. I wanted Minshew Mania, damn it. Instead, he goes with the Colts. His familiarity with their head coach, who was their offensive coordinator in Philadelphia, which is where he last played. Gardner Minshew signs a fully guaranteed 1-year, $3.5 million deal. That includes a max Philly of $5.5 million with incentives. That, my friends, is what I call a steal.
That is a
That guy's
steal.
an absolute stud. Isaiah McKenzie, formerly of the Buffalo Bills, signs with the Colts. Ashton Doolin re-signs on a 2-year, $9.5 million deal. That includes $5 million guaranteed. Taven Bryan, former Jacksonville Jaguar, signs with them. Samson Ebukam signed a 3-year deal, $27 million deal. That includes $11 million in year number 1. Tyquan Lewis re-signed on a 1-year deal, $2.1 million with a max value of $3.35 million, and includes $500,000 guaranteed. EJ Speed. Does he have speed? Is the question.
That is a good question.
He re-signed their 2-year deal worth $9 million. And Matt Gay, former Los Angeles Ram, signs a 4-year, $22.5 million deal.
That I could not
go
believe.
To the Indianapolis Colts.
I could not believe that one. That's just surprising.
I mean, aside from Minshew Mania, this
Definitely disappointing.
I
I'm
would
gonna go.
say that if he is smart, Matt Ryan will retire.
you
Yep.
should.
He should.
Then Gardner Minshew could probably get the start, or maybe my man Sam Ellinger from Texas,
Welcome horns.
Welcome Horns. Maybe that will be an interesting battle there. That is, if Matt Ryan retires, which I think he should.
More than likely, he will.
Well, there's also talks that they might get a quarterback in the draft. They might get Bryce Young. They might get C.J.
Will
Stroud.
Levis. Will Levis.
Or
I'm
Will
thinking.
Levis, because he's right there in Kentucky. I mean, it's right there.
Right.
Might as well. Got to take a look at him. But I'm going to give the Colts. Sorry, Joshua Cook, if you're watching this, I'm going to give them a D.
Really? I'm going to
Based on
say
what I'm watching.
C minus is what I'm thinking. I don't think it's D worthy, but it's definitely not good.
C minus from CBSSports.com.
And I guarantee you he's thinking about my reaction. He's thinking to himself.
What in the all types of blue hell?
That's new. I like that.
That's a new one. That is a new one. Coming soon. It's very near you. Now to the Jaguars.
Jaguars.
The Jacksonville Jaguars. CJ Beathard re-signed on a 2-year deal, $4.5 million contract. The deal also includes up to $1 million in annual incentives for a max value of $6.5 million. Dearness Johnson, I believe he was with the Browns previously, agrees to a 1-year deal. Evan Ingram got the franchise tag. This was an interesting pick, if you ask me.
I don't mind it personally. They really didn't have many candidates, to be honest with you.
That is true. That is very true. Plus, he was one of their best pass catchers last year. So you got to keep him around. Adam Goddess re-signed with the Jaguars. Roy Robertson Harris signed a 3-year, $30 million extension. Trey Herndon re-signed with the Jaguars. And Andrew Wingard, safety, re-signed on a 3-year deal. $9.6 million contract that has a max value of $13.8 million and including $6 million fully guaranteed. That brings me at the Jaguars with I'm going to give the Jags a B minus. Give the Jags a B minus.
I actually agree with you. B minus here. Nothing too eye popping, but still though, it's
Not too special, not
re-solidifying
too
depth.
bad.
CBSSports.com is not quite as generous. C.
Wow. See.
And yes, I did, Romy. Yes, I did get that one from the Snowman.
What's up, Romy?
And then
Romy.
moving on to the Tennessee Titans.
The Titans.
They re-signed Nick Westbrook-Akine to a
Be kind.
1-year deal to keep him with the Titans. Andre Dillard signed a 3-year, $29 million contract.
Not bad.
Daniel
Brunskill
signed a free agent deal with the Titans. Arden Key signed a 3-year, $21 million max value of $24 million. Aziz Al-Jair, another former FAU Owl, signed a 1-year deal, $5 million. That could be up to $6 million in incentives. Sean Murphy Bunting agreed to a 1-year deal, and long snapper Morgan Cox agreed to a 1-year extension. This one,
not a big fan.
Two vanilla.
Other than Al-Shahir, I'm not a fan of any of these moves, realistically.
I mean, Andre Dillard did pretty well for the Eagles.
He
Did pretty
did.
well for the Eagles.
Andre Dillard should here, but that's about it, realistically.
I'm going to give them a D plus. D plus Tennessee.
I'm going to go D.
Oh.
I'm going to say D or straight up D.
Oh.
Not much. Those two picks, save it from an F grade, personally.
Well, actually, CBSSports.com is a little bit more generous. They're giving them a C minus.
Wow, I'm
C
surprised.
Very interesting. Let's see how that pays off. See how that pays off this coming year. Now to the West. Starting with the Broncos. The Denver Broncos. They signed Jarrett Stidham, 2-year deal, $10 million contract. That includes $5 million guaranteed. Samaje Perine joining them from the Cincinnati Bengals. 2-year deal, $7.5 million contract with $1 million available in incentives. Michael Burton, the fullback, signed on a 1-year deal. Chris Manhurst signed a contract with the Broncos. Now, the next 4 are very big. Ben Powers, who was with, I believe, the Ravens last, signed a 4-year, $52 million deal that includes $28.5 million guaranteed. Wow, that's a big upgrade for their offensive line. Mike McGlinchey, formerly of the San Francisco 49ers, 3-year deal, $45 million contract that includes $32.5 million guaranteed. Or excuse me, my bad. 5-year, $87.5 million. No, that includes $50 million guaranteed. He was formerly of the San Francisco 49ers. Zach Allen of the Cardinals, he gets the 3-year, $45.75 million contract. That includes $32.5 million guaranteed. And Alex Singleton re-signed on a 3-year deal, $18 million contract with $9 million guaranteed. They also signed Tremon Smith, who was formerly of the Texans, and Riley Dixon. This to me screams B. Because they upgraded their offensive line in big ways. They got a nice running back in Samaje Perine. Not sure what they're going to do with Stidham. Maybe he'll be the backup to Russell Wilson. I like that they re-signed Alex Singleton. He was probably one of their best linebackers of the year last year. Yeah, this screams B to me. Give me
I'm actually going to go
at a B.
I'm actually going B plus with this one, realistically.
Oh.
I think that
I could
upgrade
see
their
that.
offensive line like that, I think that definitely helps, especially with Russell Wilson, Broncos country. It won't be Broncos country, let's die anymore. Maybe it'll be Broncos country, let's try to ride.
Let's protect the Russell Wilson guy.
You protect Russell Wilson.
Broncos country.
They'll,
Let's ride.
yes. CBS.com gives the Denver Broncos a solid B.
Solid B for the Broncos. Now moving on to the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl champion, the Kansas City Chiefs. They signed Jawan Taylor, formerly of the Jacksonville Jaguars, to a 4-year deal, $80 million. That includes $60 million guaranteed. Interesting. Nick Algaretti re-signed with the Chiefs, offensive guard. Charles Omenihu signed a 2-year deal with a max value of $20 million. Trayshawn Wharton re-signed on a 1-year deal, $2.025 million contract with a max value of $3 million with incentives. Derek Nandi re-signed. Drew Tranquil, who was formerly of the Los Angeles Chargers, signs with the Chiefs, and Mike Edwards signs a 1-year, $3 million deal with a max value of $5 million with incentives. I'm going to say the Chiefs, they didn't really do. They did upgrade their offensive line. They got the best offensive tackle in the free agency class, if you're asking me. Juwan Taylor's one of the best. So I'm going to give the Chiefs a B for that reason alone.
Here's my thing with the Chiefs. Losing Orlando Brown Jr. and Juju Smith-Schuster is going to hurt them. Juju Smith-Schuster was very underrated in regards to their pass catching, especially the second half of the year and in the playoffs. My problem with the Chiefs also losing Orlando Brown Jr. is I knew they were going to be able to pay him, but man, Jawan Taylor is not a bad player by any means, but he's nowhere near as good as Orlando Brown Jr. Other than that, they really didn't do much to really improve. I feel like I'm actually going to go B minus. Actually, C plus. I'm actually going to go C plus. Actually, C plus.
C plus.
I think losing Orlando Brown Jr. and Juju Smith-Schuster is going to hurt them offensively. I think that'll definitely be a big offense because they ain't having a receiver that's really been able to replace him.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting because, of course, last year this time the Chiefs lost Tyreek Hill to the Dolphins, and what happened? The Cowboys, the Chiefs win the Super Bowl.
They lost this guy.
No cheetah, no problem. Oh, by the way, nice jersey.
That's a shirt, actually. T-shirt.
Oh. Anyway, it looks nice.
Says name right there, Tyreek Hill. Let's go.
Anyway, losing Orlando Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster, yeah, that's going to hurt a little bit more. They may go free agency for wide receiver or maybe go into the draft. It'll be interesting to see how the Chiefs will do to start defending their Super Bowl championship. Mm-hmm. According to CBSSports.com, the Chiefs are given a B.
Solid B.
I'm surprised about that one.
I am very surprised about that one. All right, moving on to the... And it looks like they have been busy. Starting out, they got their quarterback of the future. They got Jimmy G. A lot of people say it's an upgrade. A lot of people say it's the same. They're saying the same with average to mid quarterbacks. Jimmy Garoppolo signed a 3-year deal, $72.75 million deal. That includes $24.25 million in year number 1. Now, did you guys see that he was offered free sex from the Bunny Ranch? Yeah, the Bunny Ranch.
That is funny, to be honest with you. That is really funny.
Yeah. The Bunny Ranch is like, hey, come on down. You can be a lifetime member if you want.
That's incredible, to say the least. I find it funny.
I mean, it is Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean,
yeah, that is true.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Amir Abdullah re-signed a 1-year deal, $1.75 million contract. That includes $500,000 guaranteed. Josh Jacobs got the franchise tag. I think that is a solid move on their part.
I 100% agree.
I agree, yes.
A solid move on their part. Jacob Johnson re-signed on a 1-year deal, $1.625 million. That includes $275,000 guaranteed. Austin Hooper signed a 1-year, $2.75 million with a max value of $3.5 million. I believe he was previously with the Titans.
Austin Hooper was I think he was with the Titans last. Yep.
Actually with the Titans?
Yep, he was with the Titans last.
They signed O.J. Howard, who was previously with the Texans, and then before that, the Bucks. Philip Dorsett. He was previously with, I believe, the Patriots. And speaking of former Patriots, they got Jacoby Myers.
That's right, both of them.
Yeah.
$33 million deal with $21 million guaranteed.
That's not a bad move. I do like that.
Not a bad move. He will earn $11 million in year 1 and will receive a $5.5 million bonus, which is guaranteed for injury and skill at signing if he's on the team on the 3rd day of the 2024 league year. On that same day, his $5 million base salary for 2024 will become fully guaranteed. Cam Sims signs with the Raiders. Jermaine Illuminor re-sign with the Raiders. Brandon Parker re-signed on a 1-year deal, $1.5 million contract that has a max value of $4 million. Hronis Grasu re-signed with the Raiders. Jordan Willis re-signed. Jerry Tillery re-signed 2 years, $6.8 million deal with $5.5 million guaranteed. Robert Spillane signed a 2-year, $7 million contract with $4.2 million guaranteed. Brandon Faison signed a 2-year, $6.5 million with $700,000 guaranteed. Cornerback David Long signed with the Raiders. Marcus Epps signed a 2-year, $12 million. That includes $8 million guaranteed. Jawan Johnson signed, and long snapper Jacob Bobnemeyer signed with the Raiders. Now this, they went all out. They did a lot of stuff. They have done a lot of stuff.
They did.
Adding Jacoby Myers to pair him up with Devontae Adams was huge. I think that's going to be big for Jimmy Garoppolo. But they did lose Darren Waller, so they're going to be out without one of their key players on offense.
That is true. And their backup tight end, unfortunately, he's no longer be with the team. He tried signing with the Saints, but unfortunately he got diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma.
That's right.
Yeah.
So fuck cancer. Go
That's
out
right.
and
Fuck
fight
cancer.
it. Beat it. Foster Moreau, you have the NFL's back. Steelers fans back. We all can agree on one. Even though I can't stand the Raiders, we can all agree. Fuck cancer.
That's right.
Right.
Absolutely. I'm going to give the Raiders, honestly, I'm going to give them a C+.
I'm actually going to be a little generous. I'm actually going to go. They didn't lose too much offensively other than Waller and Monroe. I think that Jimmy Garoppolo is an upgrade over Derek Carr. I'm actually going to go with a B-.
Interesting. CBSSports.com gives them a solid C.
A solid C for the silver and the black.
Uh-huh.
And last but not least, the last team in the AFC, we got the Los Angeles Chargers.
Gold Chargers. Gold.
They saw. Oh, hold on. You said it, so I got it. Guess I got you.
And now go Chargers, go!
Guess I kind of have to at that point.
You gotta.
They re-signed Easton Stick. 1 year, $1.8 million deal. Donald Parham Jr. from Stetson University up the road in DeLand, Florida, agreed to a 2-year deal worth $2.65 million contract. Trey Pipkins, who was their tackle, re-signed on a multi-year contract. Morgan Fox re-signed on a 2-year, $7.5 million deal with $3.75 million guaranteed. Eric Kendricks, formerly of the Minnesota Vikings, signed a 2-year deal worth $13.25 million. And punter J.K. Scott re-signed with the Chargers. I'm going to give the Chargers... They didn't really do much.
No, they didn't.
Other
Aaron
lose
Kendricks.
anybody.
No.
Other than Aaron Kendrick, they didn't really do much. C.
Yeah.
C+.
There.
Yeah, CBSSports.com gives the Chargers a C.
Solid C. They're agreeing with me.
There you go.
All right, moving on to the NFC. Starting with the East, and look who's up first. It's America's team. Let's talk about the Cowboys, Tim. Actually, before we do that, let's hear a little Jimmy.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
Sir.
How about them Cowboys indeed? We had a couple of losses. Kind of hurt a little bit. What as y'all can see right there, we did sign our backup Cooper Rush on a 2-year deal worth up to $6 million.
That's a solid choice right there. Solid re-signing right there.
Solid right there.
I agree.
We got Ronald Jones from the Detroit Lions.
Oh,
Got him. So he could probably be a good replacement for Ezekiel Elliott, who, of course, left the Cowboys recently.
That's
We
right.
got Tony Pollard with a non-exclusive franchise tag. Hopefully, Pollard will re-sign. Hopefully, he'll be moved up to RB1.
he's easily RB1. Now
Oh
that Zeke's
yes,
gone, are you kidding me?
yeah. I mean, last couple of years, Pollard's been putting up better numbers than Zeke, so I guess that explains it right there.
Mm-hmm.
One big name, Brandon Cooks.
Oh yeah,
That's a
We
big
got
move.
Brandon Cooks from the Houston Texans, acquired in a trade with the Texans in exchange for a 2023 fifth-round pick and a 2024 sixth-round pick. Brandon Cooks is going to be a great receiver. Of course, mentioned earlier, we did lose Noah Brown, who was a very young and very talented receiver, but I think Brandon Cooks will fit in just fine.
Now, here's something interesting about that, because Brandon Cooks has now been traded not one,
What?
not two,
What?
not three,
What?
but 4 times now.
4.
This is his 4th time he's been traded.
I
That's
don't
insane.
know if I can see the logic in that, but I don't know. But Brandon Cooks, he's a young player. I
But he's
think
solid.
he's a solid player. He's got a lot left in the tank. He's still a young stud. Not exactly wet behind the ears with breath smelling like Similac, but he's a good young guy. And we re-signed Dante Fowler Jr., who was a pretty darn good player for us last year. Re-signed a 1-year deal. We got Leighton Vander Esch, who of course was the heir apparent to Sean Lee, re-signed on a 2-year, $11 million contract. Another big name, Stephon Gilmore.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, that's a great move.
Yes, acquired in a trade with the Colts in exchange for a 2023 fifth-round compensatory pick. Can you imagine Stephon Gilmore on one end and Trayvon Diggs on the other?
Oh my!
I mean, can you
God.
imagine that? And we re-signed a very good safety and Donovan Wilson, 3 years, up to $24 million. First 2 years, fully guaranteed at $13.5 million. For the first time, and I do not know how long, I actually applaud Jerry Jones for this free agent moves right there.
That's
It has,
huge.
I don't know how long it's been since, because the last few years he's been like sitting on his hands and twiddling his thumbs and just doing.
Oh, I don't know.
No,
What are we gonna do?
he has made some noise this time, and I think he has put the NFC East on notice here. I have to agree with CBSSports.com. The Cowboys get a solid A.
I'm thinking A2, man. Good
Yes.
job.
Yes. Let's make it 3 for 3. Let's make it unanimous, and just for the hell of it, let's hear Jimmy
Yes.
one more time.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah.
That's that. Solid A for America's team, if you will. Ooh. Anyway, now we get to the Giants.
The G-men.
Wow. Daniel Jones.
Interesting.
Daniel Jones. Re-signed 4-year, $160 million deal with an
That's a
additional
deal the
$35
Giants will
million
regret.
in incentives. That, my friends, is what I like to call a reach,
That is a big reach, dude. Oh my god.
because he had one good year, and it was last year.
One good year with Brian Dable.
Will it pay off? We shall see.
We shall see, but man.
Saquon Barkley got the franchise tag, so they get
No surprise
both of
there.
their pieces on the offense. Matt Breida re-signed with them. Paris Campbell, formerly of the Indianapolis Colts. Signed there 1 year, $4.7 million with a max value of $6.7 million. Sterling Shepard re-signed on a 1 year, $1.3 million deal. Darius Slayton signed a 2 year, $12 million contract extension with a max value of $16.5 million. Now, the biggest trade, not the biggest trade, but a pretty big trade. Darren Waller from the Raiders in exchange for a 2023 third round pick.
That was
so
pretty
that gives
impressive.
Daniel Jones another offensive weapon.
That's right.
Rakeem Nunez-Roche, formerly of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, signs with the Giants. Gerard Davis re-signs with the Giants. Bobby Okereke, formerly of the Indianapolis Colts, signed a 4 year, $40 million contract. That includes $22 million guaranteed. And Jamie Gillian re-signed 2 year, $4 million deal with up to $5 million with incentives. Phew. This one's tough, honestly, because you look at that and you see Daniel Jones getting that massive deal. You see Saquon getting the franchise tag. Those were two things that needed to get done. Don't think you needed to re-sign him for that much.
Absolutely not.
No.
Because I know he said it. Well, no, he didn't say it himself, but he wanted a lot of money.
He wanted a lot of money.
He wanted a lot of money.
He's trying to get that bag.
After only one good year. And that was last year. Previously, before that, he was mid. He was mid. I'm going to give with the Darren Waller trade, I'm going to give them a B.
I honestly
give them a B.
Say...
Saquon getting him the franchise tag. That was big. Okereke, one of the best linebackers, middle linebackers in the game today. I'm going to give them a B.
I'm going to say B-. That Daniel Jones contract was 100% a reach, but who knows? Maybe it might upgrade a little bit. So we'll see.
Yeah, B- from CBSSports.com. And yeah, I agree on the Daniel Jones thing. It was just about as outrageous as that contract that they gave Tony Romo a few years ago.
Oh God, yeah.
a little bit outrageous. In my
100%.
opinion.
It's Tony Romo's contract. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Just nuts. Absolutely nuts. Speaking of nuts, let's talk about the reigning, defending, undisputed NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles. They signed Marcus.
Philadelphia Chickens.
The chickens.
Philadelphia Chickens, and you know that.
The Eagles.
Come on.
The Eagles are so much better than the Eagles.
Senator Romy, ladies and gentlemen.
Senator Romy.
Marcus Mariota, formerly of the Atlanta Falcons, signed a 1 year deal. Rashad Penny, formerly of the Seattle Seahawks, signed a 1 year, $1.35 million deal. That includes $600,000 guaranteed. Boston Scott, who I wanted the Dolphins to get really badly, but unfortunately, he's coming back to Philadelphia. He's re-signing on a 1 year, $2 million contract extension. Jason Kelsey, their building block on that offensive line, their star player on that offensive line, re-signed on a 1 year deal, $14.25 million with another $500,000 in incentives. That is huge for that Eagles offensive line. Fletcher Cox re-signed on a 1 year, $10 million deal. Brandon Graham re-signed on a 1 year deal up to $6 million. Nicholas Morrow agreed to a 1 year deal. James Bradbury signed a 3 year, $38 million contract that includes $20 million guaranteed and has a max value of $44 million with incentives. Damn. Darius Slay agreed to a 3-year, $42 million deal through 2025 with $23 million guaranteed at signing. Greedy Williams, formerly of the Cleveland Browns, agreed to a 1-year deal, and Justin Evans signed a deal with the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to give the Eagles here, I'm going to say, they re-signed Jason Kelce. That's big.
That is a big
Fletcher Cox coming back. That's big. Bradbury and Slay coming back. That's absolutely big. I'm going to give the Eagles an A. I'm going to give the Eagles an A.
I'm thinking solid A-, but I really do like what the Eagles did.
Philadelphia Chocolates.
Well, it seems like you guys are a little bit more generous to the chickens than according to CBSSports.com. They give them a solid B. But I can see where you want to give them an A. I mean, they got some real key players. They got some interesting trades there. So, those chickens will contend once again for the division this year. But watch out for my boys.
Watch out for them Cowboys. And last but not least, you got the Commies. And they look like they did some things in free agency so far. You got Jacoby Brissett, a.k.a. Brisket, signing a 1-year, $8 million contract. That includes $7.5 million guaranteed and has a max value of $10 million. He was previously with the Cleveland Browns, and to be honest, he played much better than Deshaun Watson did last year. Andrew Wiley signed a 3-year, $24 million contract, formerly of the Kansas City Chiefs. Super Bowl champion. Now he plays for the Commanders. Wow. What a turnaround.
Exactly.
Nick Gates, formerly of the New York Giants, signs a 3-year, $16.5 million deal. That contract has a max value of $18 million and includes $8 million guaranteed. Tyler Larson re-signs with the Commanders. Abdullah Anderson, formerly of the Atlanta Falcons, signs with the Commanders. Deron Payne received the franchise tag. Then he later signed a 4-year, $90 million contract. That includes $45 million guaranteed, $60 million total guarantees, and a $28 million signing bonus. Damn. You got F.A. Obata signing a 1-year deal up to $3 million. Cody Barton, formerly of the Seattle Seahawks, signing 1-year, fully guaranteed contract. David Mayo re-signed on a 1-year extension. Cameron Dantzler was claimed off of waivers from the Minnesota Vikings. And
I bet he likes to dance a lot.
He does. I agree. He's dancing now.
Yeah.
And Danny Johnson re-signed on a 2-year deal worth up to $7 million with $2.75 million guaranteed. Commies for me. Deron Payne getting that massive deal, that was big.
Huge.
That was big for them.
They need
Andrew Wiley, that was a solid signing. Brissett, I think, might be their starter this year.
I could see it realistically.
Yeah.
Although him competing with Sam Howell.
Maybe
have you announced where Taylor Heineke is gone?
Yes, and we'll get to that in just a little bit.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a little bit. But yeah, the Commanders, to me, based on what I'm seeing right here, C+.
I'm actually gonna go. I actually agree with you. C+. I was actually
Yeah, I would agree you guys with a C+, but according to CBS.com, they actually give them a B.
Wow, that's actually surprising.
Kind of a head scratcher right there.
I agree. And Dash, I haven't tried the new version of the Double Down, but I did have the old one along.
What's the Double Down?
The Double Down fried chicken sandwich from KFC.
Oh, KFC. Is that the one where they put the chicken in between the chicken and then the cheese and the bacon?
There's
in the middle?
cheese, bacon, and a spicy sauce, and then 2 pieces of chicken is considered the bread.
That sounds like a heart attack waiting to happen.
Exactly.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I'm
All
not
right.
going to have it this time.
Moving on to the North.
The North.
We're starting with the Chicago Bears, and they have been busy, ladies and gentlemen. Starting with P.J. Walker, signed a 2-year deal pending a physical. He will most likely be the backup to one Justin Fields. You got Deontay Foreman, formerly of the Carolina Panthers, signing a 1-year deal, $3 million guaranteed. Travis Homer, formerly of the Seattle Seahawks, signing a 2-year deal. Kyrie Lassingame signed a 2-year extension with the Bears. You got DJ Moore. Okay. DJ
That
Moore
was incredible.
acquired in a
Yes.
trade with the Carolina Panthers in exchange for the number 1 overall pick in the 2023 NFL draft. The Bears also received the number 9 overall pick in 2023, a 2023 second rounder, which is number 61 overall, a 2024 first, and a 2025 second rounder in the deal. When I saw this come across the screen, I almost lost my mind, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I did not expect it to be the Panthers. I thought it was going to be
The Colts.
the Colts. Everyone thought it was going to be the Colts, but no, it was the Carolina Panthers. And the Bears, they got a weapon for Justin Fields. They got DJ Moore. He was absolutely solid. But also, now they
got
have
a
some
lot to
building
work around them.
Now they got some building blocks.
They got to work. They have a lot to work around with him, man.
Mm-hmm.
They gave him weapons. They gave him offensive help. They gave him some offensive line. They gave him some defense. They gave it defensive pieces, and they also are now going to protect him, hopefully. So
Finally did
overall, I think the Bears are an A. Personally,
wait, we're not done yet. We're not done yet because we got some other players we got to talk
Oh,
about.
yeah.
oh, I
There's
forgot
some
to
other
mention.
players we got to talk about.
I already thought you mentioned. I'm sorry.
Robert Tonyan, formerly of the Green Bay Packers, signed a deal with the Bears. Nate Davis, formerly of the Tennessee Titans, signed a 3-year deal, $20 million guaranteed. That includes $19.25 million guaranteed, or $30 million that includes $19.25 million guaranteed. DeMarcus Walker, formerly of the Tennessee Titans, signed a 3-year deal. Andrew Billings, formerly of the Las Vegas Raiders, agreed to a 1-year deal, $3.5 million with $2.4 fully guaranteed. Tremaine Edmonds, formerly of the Buffalo Bills, signed a massive 4-year, $72 million contract that includes $50 million guaranteed.
Huge move. I like it.
TJ Edwards, formerly of the Philadelphia
Chickens.
The check.
3-year, $19.5 million contract that includes $12 million guaranteed. And Patrick Scales, their long snapper, agreed to a 1-year extension. That DJ Moore signing alone, they got pieces to build around Justin Fields now. They have a lot of draft capital now. Give me a solid A for the Bears.
I agree. Solid A.
Solid A for the Bears.
Yeah, I would give them an A. CBSSports.com gives them a B plus, but tell you what, that DJ Moore pickup, that's sounded pretty outrageous to me. But obviously, I think the Bears know what they're doing. They can probably contend with the Lions and the Vikings, even though I still kind of said that the Lions would win the NFC North next year. But keep your eye on the Bears.
That's right. Keep an eye on the Bears. The Bears.
The Bears.
Speaking of the Lions, they're up next, and they have been busy as well. David Montgomery, formerly of the Bears, signs with the Lions. 3-year deal, $18 million. Craig Reynolds re-signs with the Lions. Graham Glasgow signed with the Lions, formerly of, I think he was with the Lions last year. Maybe. Isaiah Buggs re-signed on a 2-year deal up to $6 million. John Kaminsky re-signed on a 2-year deal, $8.5 million contract, $4 million fully guaranteed, and has a max value of $9.5 $5 million with incentives. Alex Anzalone signed a
I was
3-year
intrigued.
deal, $18.75 million. Wow.
Hey Alex, yeah, he was with the Broncos. Glasnow, when Graham Glasnow was the Bronco. He was originally started his career with the Lions, but then he joined the
He
Broncos.
came. Oh, so he's basically a
back.
homecoming of some sort.
Homecoming, exactly.
Speaking of homecoming, with the next guy, Jalen Reeves-Maybin, he was with the Texans last year. He previously spent his 5 years with the Lions. He's back on I believe, a 1-year deal. Cameron Sutton, Lucas, signed from the Pittsburgh Steelers, 3 years, $33 million. That includes $21.5 million guaranteed. CJ GJ, previously from the Philadelphia Chickens. CJ GJ is going to be now coached by MCDC. 1 year, $8 million with 6.5 fully guaranteed. CJ Moore gets re-signed 2 years, $4.5 million with $3 million fully guaranteed, and another $1.25 million available in potential incentives. Will Harris also re-signed 1 year, $2,582,500. That is fully guaranteed. Michael Badgley re-signed with the Lions, and Jake McQuaid, the long snapper for the Lions, re-signed. Emmanuel Mosley, I said there, he was formerly with the San Francisco 49ers. Now, the Lions, to me, this screams huge. This is big for them. This, to me, is big for them. This is game-changing. If they want to win the North, this is the way to do it. But I think they personally should have kept Williams. I think they should have kept Jamal Williams. That's just me. So, other than that, Lions, to me, are big winners in this draft. Or not the draft, but in the free agency so far. I'm going to give them an A.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to give them an A. Lions are an A.
I honestly agree. A for me.
I will give them an A, even though CBS.com CBSSports.com gives them a B+. But I will give them an A. I mean, this is very impressive. Like I said, Lions will probably take the NFC North next year, so this is a good start.
There we go.
And I'll step away. I'll step away for a few minutes, but I'll be right back.
Sounds
good,
very good. We will hold it down until you return.
All right.
Talking next up, we got the Green Bay Packers. They have not done much of anything.
No, they have not.
They have not done much of anything because they have to rely on one Aaron Rodgers and that bad man. They basically have not done anything. They re-signed Rudy Ford, 1 year deal up to $2.5 million. Matt Orzech signed previously with the Rams, their long snapper, and Keyshawn Nixon. I know a lot of Packers fans are happy about that. Re-signed a 1 year deal with a max value of $6 million.
And then once they lose Aaron Rodgers, it's going to be even worse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just waiting for that trade to come up, man. Oh my
Just
goodness.
a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. As far as their grade, I don't know if I can give them one.
I'm going to say F, to be honest with you.
I don't know if I can give them one. They haven't really done anything.
They haven't, but still, I think that it's funny to say the least that they haven't done anything. And then once they lose Aaron Rodgers, this is going to be one of the worst teams in the NFC North. I think 100% it's going to be one of the worst teams. So,
Are they going to go back to the 80s?
Yes.
They're going to go back to the 80s? Well,
I think Jordan Love's going to be the Jordan Love. I think the Jordan Love is going to be the 80s equivalent now. So
the Packers are going back to the 80s. You know what, Lucas? I'm going to agree.
F.
I'm going to agree. Super F.
Super F. Just
Super
like
F.
Mr. Crocker from Fairy Odd Parents. You not only get an F, you get a super F.
You know what? That's a clip. That's a clip I need to get.
You gotta get that clip. Oh my god,
That's a clip I need to get. Absolutely. Packers get an F. They got a long snapper and a kick returner and a safety. Whoop-de-doo. All right. Moving on to the Minnesota Vikings. They have been actually, it's been pretty decent.
It hasn't been too bad.
If I say so myself. They re-signed Nick Mullins to a 2-year deal worth up to $4 million. They got Alexander Madison agreed to a 2-year, $7 million contract that includes $6.35 million guaranteed with a max value of $8 million with incentives. They signed Brandon Powell. They got Josh Oliver, formerly with the Ravens, agreed to a 3-year, $21 million deal that includes $10.75 guaranteed. The contract has a max value of $42 million or $24 million with incentives. Formerly with the Baltimore Ravens, so that's going to be interesting because you got TJ Hawkinson on one side, Josh Oliver on the other. Nice 1-2 punch at tight end, if you ask me. Got Garrett Bradbury re-signing with the Vikings, 3-year deal worth $15.75 million. Their star center stays right there. Austin Schlottman re-signs with the Vikings. Olisameka Udo re-signed with the Vikings. You got Marcus Davenport, formerly of the New Orleans Saints. 1-year deal, $13 million contract right there. Dean Lowry, formerly of the Green Bay Packers, signing a 2-year, $8.5 million contract. Jonathan Bullard re-signing with the Vikings. Troy Reeder agrees to terms on a free agent deal. Byron Murphy, formerly of the Arizona Cardinals, signs a 2-year, $22 million deal. Andrew DePaula, who is their long snapper, agrees to return. And one, Greg the Leg Joseph from FAU. Give a hoot. Don't pollute. Coming back. Greg the Leg is back in Minnesota on a 1-year deal. Ugh.
Not too bad.
They've done a lot.
Depth pieces. Just for
it's more of a depth. More depth than more of a need than want than need. If that makes sense. They went more of need than want in terms of re-signing who they wanted to re-sign and who they wanted to sign. I'm going to give the Vikings, based on what I'm seeing right here, C.
I was thinking,
Give them a C.
I'm thinking B- personally. B-, I'm thinking it's just a decent one. They really didn't lose too much, but they really didn't gain too much. So B-, C-ish kind of thing.
CBSSports.com, according to them, gives the Vikings a D+.
D+?
D+.
Wow, that's not good at all.
Again, they just went off of what they need, not what they want.
Exactly.
And I think what they're going to want is what they're going to get in the draft. Moving on to the South. The Falcons, Taylor Heineke is returning home to play for his hometown team. That's right. He's playing for the Atlanta Falcons, 2-year deal worth up to $20 million guaranteed, and he can buy a lot of Legos with that.
Yes, he can.
He likes to play with Legos.
That is awesome.
Formerly of the Washington Commanders. Mac Hollins, former Miami Dolphin, former Philadelphia Chicken, and former Las Vegas Raider last year, signed a 1-year deal, $2.5 million deal to sign with the Falcons. That is a steal, my friends, if you're asking me. Keith Smith re-signed on a 1-year deal. They traded for Jonnu Smith from the New England Patriots in exchange for a 7th-round draft pick. Wow. 7th-round pick for one of the best, well, not one of the best, solid tight end, if you will.
He is solid, very underrated.
Caleb McGarry re-signed on a 3-year deal, $34.5 million guaranteed there. He was their right tackle. I really wanted the Dolphins to sign him, but we didn't. Chris Lindstrom re-signed on a 5-year, $105 million extension and was entering the final year of his contract, making him the highest paid guard in the league as of right now. And that's big. Jermaine Ifedi agreed to a 1-year deal. Lorenzo Carter re-signs on a 2-year deal. David Onyemata, formerly of the New Orleans Saints, signed a 3-year deal worth $35 million. That includes $24.5 million fully guaranteed. Caden Ellis signed a 3-year deal, $21.5 million. That includes $11 million guaranteed. Mike Hughes signs a 1-year deal. Jesse Bates, formerly of the Cincinnati Bengals, signs a big 4-year, $64.02 million contract. That includes $23 million in year number 1, and that is an instant boost to their secondary and an instant loss for the Cincinnati Bengals.
It is.
Cornell Armstrong signs a 1-year deal, and Bradley Pinion signs a 3-year deal, $8.65 million. He receives $4.325 million guaranteed, including $3.5 in 2023 to punt for the Atlanta Falcons. Based on what I'm seeing right here, with Jonnu Smith re-signing 2 key pieces of their offensive line,
Getting Taylor Heineke,
getting Jesse Bates, getting Matt Collins, training for Jonnu Smith, I'm going to give the Falcons a B.
I'm thinking B too, personally.
Give them a B. And plus, David Onyemata and Caden Ellis, 2 players from the Saints, getting them from the Saints to stay in the division. That's big. I'm going to give the Falcons a B.
I could definitely see a B.
I will give them a B as well, even though CBSSports.com gives them a C. But I'll give them a B.
All right. Moving on to the team that has the number 1 overall pick in the draft. That is the Carolina Panthers. The Red Rifle has a new home. He's staying in the NFC South, as it is Andy Dalton signing a 2-year, $11 million deal that includes $8 million guaranteed. Miles Sanders, formerly of the Philadelphia Chickens, agrees to a 4-year, $25.4 million deal. That includes $13 million guaranteed.
That is huge. That is huge.
That is big. Speaking of big, ooga shaka,
Shaka, ooga, shaka, ooga.
Hooked on a Thielen. Adam Thielen, formerly of the Minnesota Vikings, signed a 3-year, $25 million deal. And that's big for them.
Oh, yeah.
Easy replacement for DJ Moore, if you're asking me. Hayden Hurst, formerly of the Cincinnati Bengals, signs a 3-year, $21.75 million deal. That includes $13 million guaranteed. Justin McCray, formerly of the Houston Texans, signs with the Carolina Panthers. Bradley Bozeman re-signed on a 3-year deal, $18 million contract. Shy Tuttle, formerly of the New Orleans Saints, signed a 3-year deal, $19.5 million. That includes $13.5 million guaranteed at signing. Deshaun Williams, formerly of the Denver Broncos, has agreed to a deal with them, as well as Von Bell, safety from formerly of the Cincinnati Bengals. And they also have the first overall pick in the draft. So with all this, with the number one overall pick, I'm going to give the Panthers a C+.
I'm thinking the Carolina Panthers. I think getting the first overall pick's a huge thing. They got some good talent to build around them. Hayden Hurst, Adam Thielen, very underrated. Can't go wrong with what they did offensively, and I think they will continue to do more. I'm going to give the Panthers actually a B tier. I think B is going to be fine for me.
Yeah, I'll give them a B, and so will CBSSports.com.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. All right. Now on to the Saints. And we're starting off with Derek Carr, who I predicted. I said it. I said this was going to happen. I said Derek Carr would sign with the Saints, and he did. 4-year, $150 million contract. That includes $60 million guaranteed at signing, with another $10 million guaranteed in year number 3, vesting after year number 1. Carr's deal, which also features a no trade clause, has $100 million in total guarantees. They also re-signed Jameis Winston to a 1-year deal, $4 million in guarantees and a max value of $8 million. Next up, Jamal Williams, formerly of the Detroit Lions, broke Barry Sanders' record last year. Now he's with the New Orleans Saints. Signed a 3-year deal, $12 million. That includes $8.15 million guaranteed. Michael Thomas signs a new 1-year, $10 million contract with a max value of $15 million. He has 2 non-void years left on his previous contract. Juwan Johnson re-signed on a 2-year deal, $12 million contract extension that includes $8.5 million guaranteed. He would have been a restricted free agent at the start of the new league year. Storm Norton. That is a name right there. Storm Norton signed on a 1-year deal. Tano Pasagnon.
Let me see.
I think the K is silent.
Pasagnon.
2-year deal. 2-year, $6 million extension. That includes $2.5 million guaranteed. Malcolm Roach re-signed with the Saints. Kalen Saunders, formerly of the Kansas City Chiefs, 3-year deal up to $14.5 million. Nathan Shepard signing a 3-year, $15 million guaranteed. That includes $10.18 million guaranteed. Lonnie Johnson signs there. Jonathan Abrams signs there. JT Gray, defensive back, signing a 3-year deal worth $9.6 million. The contract has a max value of $11.1 and includes $2.4 million at signing. And Blake Gilkin re-signs with the New Orleans Saints. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. Derek Carr, they needed an upgrade, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
After last year. I mean, Andy Dalton wasn't doing the trick. I like that they brought back Jameis Winston. Jamal Williams is going to be huge for them. Defense, they looked all right. They brought back JT Gray. I'm going to give the Saints, I'm going to give them a B-.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking
B-.
I was thinking a B-, even though CBSSports.com gives them a C+. But I'm starting to feel pretty good about the Saints, even though I probably think that it could be either the Saints or the Panthers that could take the NFC South this year.
As we all know, it's not
battle.
It's not going to be the Bucks. I don't think it's going to be the Bucks, if we're being honest. Speaking of the Bucks, they're next, as they haven't really done much of anything. Baker Mayfield, I've called this as well. He signed a 1-year deal up to $8.5 million with $4 million in guarantees coming from the Los Angeles Rams. Chase Edmonds, formerly of the Denver Broncos by way of the Miami Dolphins, signs a 1-year deal. Greg Gaines, formerly of the Los Angeles Rams, agrees to terms with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They re-signed Levante David, which is one of their linebackers. He's absolutely massive, which is absolutely massive for them. 1 year, $7 million. That is fully guaranteed. Anthony Nelson, which is one of their edge rushers, he re-signed, and Jamil Dean signed a 4-year deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They've been quiet, but they've made a couple splashes. They've been kind of quiet when it comes to free agency here. I'm going to give the Bucks C-.
I'm honestly going to say C, realistically.
Yeah, I'll give them a C, and that's what CBSSports.com gives them. They give them a solid C.
All right. The last division we're going to talk about is the NFC West. Starting with the Arizona Cardinals, they re-signed David Blau on a 1-year deal. They re-signed Corey Kmet on a 1-year deal. Zach Pascal, formerly of the Philadelphia Eagles, signed a 2-year deal. He knows, I think the head coach, which is Gannon, right? Gannon, who was the defensive coordinator for the Eagles, he knows Pascal pretty well because they played in Philadelphia. Kevin Beacham re-signed on a 2-year, $5.15 million deal with $3.26 million guaranteed. Dennis Daly agreed to a 2-year deal. Will Hernandez re-signed on a 2-year, $9 million contract. Hijalti Froholt signed on a 2-year deal with $4.6 million in base salary, $2.11 fully guaranteed, and a max value of $6.1 million. L.J. Collier signed a 1-year deal. Kazir White signed a 2-year deal. Antonio Hamilton re-signed with them. And Matt Prater re-signed as well. One of the best kickers, the longest tenured kickers in the league, re-signed 2-year, $7.5 million. That includes $4 million guaranteed. Ugh. That's all I gotta say.
I actually agree with CBSSports.com. They give the Cardinals a C-.
I personally was going to go lower. I think in D personally.
D+. I'm gonna go D+. So we're all over the board with that one.
You are, absolutely.
But in retrospect, it's true. Because I mean, it is the first year head coach. So they need to get some building blocks there. Now we get to the Rams. Oof.
Oh God.
Rams. Oof.
Oh, good Lord.
They got Hunter Long and he was acquired in a trade with the Miami Dolphins, along with a 2023 third-round pick, which is number 77 overall, in exchange for Jalen Ramsey. Hunter Long, who was our third-string tight end. And then I'm still mind-blown by that.
That is
a third-round pick
Dolphins.
And a third-string tight end to get one of the best corners in the league. Are you kidding me? Him and X on the same team? That's nuts.
It is.
That is nuts. And they also re-signed Coleman Shelton, offensive guard. F.
Biggest disappointment: win the Super Bowl 1 year, then just go to garbage the next year. And so far in this free agency period,
kind of like the Washington Nationals of the NFL.
Right. I have to give him an F. CBSSports.com gives him a D. I can't see that.
How? They've only done 2 things. How is that? I mean, no.
No.
That's an F.
I say hell no.
Wait, better yet.
Yeah.
Better yet. Play the song.
Yeah.
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no. Listen.
Who wants to play for the Rams?
Love
Absolutely nobody.
Nobody.
All right, moving on to the San Francisco 49ers. Sam Darnold signs a 1-year deal with a base value of $4.5 million, including $3.5 million fully guaranteed. His new contract has a max value of $11.5 million with incentives, so he's probably going to be competing for the second string.
Right now, along with Brock Purdy.
With Brock Purdy and Trey Lance.
Yep.
Trey Lance. Ross Dwelly re-signs on a 1-year deal. Jake Brendel re-signed on a 4-year contract that has a max value of $20 million with $8 million guaranteed. So he stays at center. John Feliciano signed on a 1-year deal. Cleveland Farrell, the former number 4 overall draft pick back in 2019, signs a 1-year deal worth $2.5 million with $1.82 million guaranteed. Kevin Givens signs a 1-year extension. Javon Hargrave, formerly of the Philadelphia Eagles, signs a 4-year, $84 million deal that includes $40 million guaranteed. T.Y. McGill re-signed on a 1-year deal. Demetrius Flanagan Fowles re-signs on a 1-year deal. Isaiah Oliver signs with the 49ers. Miles Hartsfield signs with the 49ers. Tashawn Gibson re-signs 1-year, $2.9. And Tabor Pepper, their long snapper, re-signs on a 3-year deal that includes $1.5 million guaranteed. I'm going to give, based on this right here, Javon Hargrave. That was a big signing for them. Man, that is a bit, because they lost a lot of, the 49ers, they lost a lot of players in this free agency. So to get someone like a Javon Hargrave, him next to Joey Bosa, that's going to be big for the 49ers. Based on that alone, I'm going to give them a B.
Yeah, I'll give a B plus on that as well as CBSSports.com. They give them a B plus. The Donald signing and the Hargrave signing, that is a pretty good big plus for them. So it'll be interesting to see who will be the starter for the Niners. Will it be Donald or will it be Purdy? We have no idea, but it will be very interesting to see what happens from there.
I'm gonna say B. Solid B.
Solid. All right, and the last team we're talking about is the Seattle Seahawks. They re-signed Seahawks. They re-signed Drew Lock. 1-year, $4 million contract that has a max value of 7.5 with incentives. Geno Smith, comeback player of the year, re-signed on a 3-year, $75 million deal. That has a max value of $105 million.
That is insane.
Damn. Evan Brown, formerly of the Detroit Lions, goes to the Seahawks. Draymond Jones, formerly of the Denver Broncos, signed a 3-year, $51.53 million contract that will pay him $35.02 million over 2 years, including $23.5 million in year number 1. Jerron Reed, formerly of the Green Bay Packers, signed a 2-year deal with the max value of $10.8 million. Devin Bush, Lucas.
Yep, former Steeler.
Devin Bush.
Yeah.
Former Steeler. Signed with the Seattle Seahawks. And Julian Love, formerly of the New York Giants, signs a deal with the Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to give the Seahawks, based on what I'm looking at right here, they didn't really lose much. They didn't really gain much.
Nope.
Kept Geno Smith, which I thought was big for them. I'm going
Huge
to give
move.
the Seahawks, after what I'm seeing right here, I'm going to give them a B. Solid
I'm
B.
thinking a B as well, actually.
That's exactly what I'm thinking of, even though CBSSports.com wants to give them an A for some strange reason. I have no idea. But
Intriguing.
getting Geno Smith re-signed, getting Devin Bush on 1-year deal, that could definitely help them out a little bit. So be interesting to see what happens as the Seahawks continue to rebuild from what they once were.
All right. Now, biggest winners and losers of free agency so far.
So far.
As of right now, it's been a week. It's been a week and a couple days since free agency has started. Who would you guys say is your biggest winners and losers of free agency?
Well, I've got 4 teams in mind, of course. I've got
Go right
the
ahead, Ty.
I got the Cowboys. I've got the Dolphins.
What's up, baby?
I've got the Lions. And I've got the Panthers.
Okay.
My big winners are probably
To remove that.
the Detroit Lions, the Chicago Bears, and Dallas Cowboys. Realistically, are my top 3 right now. All NFC teams. Even the Dolphins would definitely be probably a top AFC team. I think would probably make made a really good deal. And then once the New York Jets get Aaron Rodgers, then the Jets will be an A as well.
I don't. We'll see. We shall see about that. My biggest winners for the NFC, it's got to be the Lions. I mean, they upgraded their secondary massively. Their whole free agency class was absolutely stacked. Let me just pull that up one more time. Let me see if I can pull it up one more time on my phone real quick, because I just exited out of my thing. I mean, CJ Gardner-Johnson, Cameron Sutton, re-signing Alex Anzalone, and Jalen Reeves-Maven. That is huge for them. I think the Lions are going to be players in the NFC for years to come.
I agree.
And they're going to be as of right now, I have them as the NFC North champs. As far as the AFC, it's obviously the Miami Dolphins, man. It's obviously the Fins. You got Mike White coming in, former New York Jet. He knows the Jets all too well. Biggest steal of the free agency so far, David Long from the Tennessee Titans, stealing Jalen Ramsey from the Los Angeles Rams, bringing in Braxton Berrios, re-signing all of our running backs from last year, Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, Myles Gaskin, and Salvon Ahmed. And we still have room to possibly make another splash. So I think we might go for another running back.
Because I know you guys lost Edmonds.
We did lose Edmonds.
Yeah.
So what if we give old Zeke a call?
That would be a big
Awesome.
move.
What if
That
we give
would be
old Zeke a
interesting.
call? Give Mike McDaniel a nice bruiser on the backfield, if you know what I mean.
Right.
That'd be something.
It would be something, absolutely.
So yeah, Fins up, baby. Oh yeah. As far as biggest losers go,
Packers and Rams.
Rams.
Rams, Ravens, and Vikings.
Ravens are definitely going to be there once they lose Lamar Jackson.
AFC, it's the Ravens.
I can definitely see the Ravens.
Ravens, because they did absolutely nothing.
Yep.
They still haven't done nothing
Absolutely.
yet.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Lamar's not going to be a Raven after. I don't think he's going to. I think
They
he's gonna
haven't
be
signed anybody.
They haven't signed a
in free
Jack.
agency. They re-signed
No,
a
not
couple
really.
people. They re-signed a few people, but as far as like key additions,
Nothing.
nobody.
No. No.
I love it. I love it, man.
Nobody.
Like the Ravens, absolutely terrible. I love every bit of it.
And then, for
And
the
of course,
NFC
there's two teams that are still up in the air. Well, let me get your NFC teams.
NFC, the Rams.
Yeah.
It's the Rams. I mean, you go from Super Bowl 1 year to nothing.
Right.
Absolutely.
Jack squat.
Trading the best corner they have for a 3rd-round pick and a 3rd-string tight end.
It's funny, but hey, I'm all for it personally.
And then we got two teams that are still up in the air with one common factor. And I'm talking about that bad. They're still up in the air, and who knows what the hell's going to happen there. He says he wants to play for the Jets.
Hasn't happened yet.
Still incomplete on that one.
We shall see. We shall see. That, ladies and gentlemen, is it for our free agency edition of the 4 Horsemen of Pick'ems. Next week, I'm thinking next week or maybe the week after, we'll do a couple mock drafts. Since we are in the mock draft season, the draft is about a month away.
Mm-hmm.
So we can do a couple mock drafts next week if you guys are up for it.
Maybe. I'm kind of a maybe on that. I'm not really big on mock drafts. I just watch
see.
the draft and see what happens, you know.
I'm
Shall see.
intrigued, but we'll see. The Bengals, I probably would get. What'd you guys get the Bengals? I think I give the Bengals a
I gave them
B plus. That's what I'm thinking, personally.
I think I gave them a B.
All right, so
It's a
B
B
plus,
approved.
right around that range.
I gave them a B.
There you go. That's
It looks pretty good for you there, Dashy, so far anyway.
That's right.
so far.
That's right. So, folks, that's it for this episode. I know, Tiny Tim, you did Fantasy Football Fever, I think, yesterday, right?
Yes, we did our own version of our free agent frenzy. So y'all check out my channel, TJM3774. You can go back and see that. Our next show is planned for April 7th, and we'll be talking about head coaches that go into the 2023 season on the hot seat.
Ooh.
Yeah, so y'all be looking out for that April 7th. Fantasy Football Fever,
Oh, yeah.
youtube.com/TJM3774.
Hell yeah. LC,
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
yes, sir. You got some. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I'm not like I'll just probably just be doing stuff
Just
on your
chilling.
channel.
Just chilling.
Just
LC's
chilling.
just
mostly.
chilling like a villain, of course. I might be putting some stuff up. I might do a mock draft here or two next week with these two. Hopefully, maybe Mr. Sermon will join as well.
We'll
But
see,
regardless, hope you guys enjoyed this. Give me a like, give me a subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. Links for those are in the description box down below. And of course, the first link is for the Discord. Join the Discord. It is a super happy, fun time. Oh yeah. So for Tiny Tim, for Elsie Muscles, this is A Pizzle. Say peace out. And what's up, baby? See you guys later.
See
The
you later,
Horsemen.
guys. Stay awesome. And once again, on. Yeah, there we go. Hit.
The
See you guys
Horsemen
later.
will
Stay
the
awesome.
Horsemen will return.
We will rise.
The
again.
Horsemen will return, baby.